So today's episode of Crowned and in Control comes from the recording of my car, actually, because I've been meaning to record this podcast now for about a week or so, but today is now the day. Welcome back to Crowned and in Control. And believe it or not, today's subject is about balancing personal and professional because, as you guys know, I am a mom of two lovely little boogers. I'm also a dominatrix, independence dom, and those two worlds do not collide at the fuck all between my personal and professional life, and balancing them can be quite hard. So, welcome. Thanks for tuning in with me as I sit in my car. And for intro purposes, of a recap from episode one, where I talked about how and when I was introduced into the BDSM community and also my first session experience. If you want to go and listen to that one before we get started. Okay, so there's about 3 to 5 key things I want to point out when you're trying to balance your life as a mom and a goddess, dominatrix, mistress. Well, at least I'm gonna show you my experience, and you know what? Just take May what have you as you will, apply it to your life, make it your own. But I was originally supposed to record this podcast during my kid-free weekend, which I love to fucking death. Like, at first, I used to get like sad or whatever on my kid-free weekends, but no, I love my kid-free weekends. I get the most work and fun done during those times. But that is the best time to record or do anything that you've been putting off, like cleaning or whatever you have a slave over. I haven't got me one just yet to come clean my house, but when I do, they will be part of my kid-free weekend. Because, yeah, cleaning behind kids is you learn things about your children. That's for sure. So, yeah, whenever you have personal time and time to yourself, get things done. Like, things done. Number two, the best part of my kid-free weekend, it makes my selfish Sundays that much fucking better. Excuse my French. But it makes selfish Sundays that much better when I know I have the first half of the Sunday to myself, and then like the mom guilt started creeping in, so I know my kids will be back home later. So I enjoy the Sundays to the max. Like my slaves and subs, no, not to bother me on Sundays, unless like you get something interesting or fun to say, or you want to check in on what bill I need to get paid or whatever, or if I'm hungry, or if I want, I don't know. But don't bother me on Sundays. Just don't. Okay. If you want to know anything about Goddess Krista Rue, don't bother me on Sundays. Yeah, I think I said Sundays enough times. Yeah. So also on Sundays, even though it's my selfish Sundays, I get the most work done on my websites and emails sent out and stuff on Sundays. Like that's my most clearest mindset day. This is the time that I use to like schedule my plans for the week, such as my kids' school time. If I have any upcoming sessions, I get those organized for the week, doctor's appointments. And also I use that time to do my marketing and such for the future travels, which I have coming up soon. Come March, I will be in Memphis, Tennessee. So while I'm out there, I expect to have plenty of fun, get plenty of new subbies to come and serve me and do a very good job, not wasting my time, but also showing me the city. I've been to but yeah, so with balancing personal and my professional time, even though those two worlds don't mix outside of me, they do still both define me in my time, such as my practice time, time I make for practicing getting better at my kink. I actually am about to start back up in Shibari, and that's gonna be much, much fun. Shout out to my new sissy gimp who will be having me practice tying him up and just tying him up just because whenever I get bored of tying, of self tie, I love having rope bunnies to practice on. And also, I want to start back school soon, actually. I'm looking into starting back online school for myself. So I'm going to have to add that into my personal time with myself, work time, and the kids' time. Right along with making that money and marketing, you know, coming up next this March, actually, birthday month. Shout out to all the Aries. I will be traveling to Memphis, Tennessee for a tattoo and also for some sessioning while I'm there. I plan on getting this huge, huge rose tattoo because I'm a masochist. While I do like inflicting pain very, very much. I also love tattoos. Prior to me getting that tattoo and in between the time while I'm up in Memphis, I plan on having some sessions. So yeah, reach out to me, Memphis, Tennessee area, if you know any good session locations, if you want to have a session, and definitely for the events. I want to link up, get out, because I be bored. I don't want to be bored this time, just sessioning and tattooing. I want my fun time and going out with that community up there. And again, that's in March. So reach out to me, Memphis. Marketing on my Sundays and setting my schedule for the week. These are key things to do during your kid free time. And also, subs. Get your subs to help manage your week too, because nothing personal, of course, but things like when you want to post reminders, I have their little weekly tasks, such as Thong Thursdays. I fucking love Thong Thursdays because that's the most complainingest day, the day I know they love and hate to see coming because it makes me happy to see their little thongs up their little booty cheeks and for the whole day. It's great. Sometimes I wear thongs too, but usually not. Every so often I'll partake in that. I actually started Thong Thursday just because I can't stand thongs that much. Like, I love how sexy they look on me, but I hate wearing them. So that's where Thong Thursday began. If anybody was wondering, now you know. Yeah. So, other than using my See, if you didn't listen to the first episode, I did put a disclaimer, and I think I'm about to start every episode like this, like disclaimer, undiagnosed ADHD squirrel brain. So, bear with me. Um, I get off subject, on subject, off subject, but it all comes back full circle, which leads to a random thought I actually just had about coming full circle, and that is my podcast, of course, Crown and In Control. And if you do know, a crown is a usually circle shape, unless you got like a blockhead or something. Crowns are usually circle shape. And even though they are perfectly round and would seem like everything would run smoothly, there's a thing called vibrations. And there are times where my vibrations are all over the place. But the beauty of being in tuned and aligned with yourself is learning how to balance yourself and feeling when your vibrations are not vibrating in harmony and an alignment, like this podcast subject is going off. Okay, so balancing personal and professional. I am obviously still a work in progress, but believe you me, I am much better today than I was when I first started out my dominatrix journey. And it was not an overnight thing of hard work. I really had to mentally focus, tune in to myself, take a period to block out everyone to practice things such as meditating and making time for myself. Because even with loyal subs and slaves, and even with friends there to support you, and even with kids to help distract you. And speaking of perfectly timed kids, there was one just then running around while I'm outside playing. Like, you can't, kids, another subject for another day. They do help tilt your crown and keep it in control, but some days they will knock it off. And then when they try to knock off my crown, I use that energy and I take it out on a pair of balls because balance. And balance is very important. Listen, because I have something to say. It is highly important to, or for me, to have balance. In the beginning of my journey, I can honestly say I wasn't fully balanced. I was on a money mission. There were times when I was putting Crystal Goddess more over Mom Goddess, and that was trickling down to my kids, which is always a no-no. And then there were times when it would trinkle where I was more focused on me and my kids and less focused on my submissives and slaves. And then there was a time, there was never really a time I was focused on my slaves over anybody, honestly. But, um, hey, you do better, maybe, but I doubt it because I'm in this era where I thrive on keeping myself balanced because I know if I'm not balanced, then it'll just be like nobody will be happy, basically. I don't know. But on to happier news. I guess who said they're coming back to the BDSM scene slowly but surely. I will be having her as part of my next podcast. If not the next one, then definitely the one being released after that. But I'll let her introduce herself. She doesn't need any entry. I'm sure you all know that I'm talking about my bestie, of course. I would definitely advise those new to the scene, and this goes to you, dons and goddesses, to have a friend, a buddy, a partner, someone who you can talk to both in and out of the BDSM community, because there are days when you don't want to talk about kink, and then there are days you don't want to talk about vanilla, and then there are those days where you want to talk about them both at the same time, and just feel connected all the way around. It's important to have those type people connections. And if you don't have any, definitely sign up for Moms in Kink and get connected with us. You know, we are here for you to have those venting. If you can't tell by me, I can flow with any conversation. Okay. The more I drop these podcasts, the more you will get to know me and my style. If you're not already connected and can understand everything I'm saying, and if you can't, keep listening. Trust me, I somehow have this power to just, at first, you may not understand, or you may instantly do. But for those who don't, the more you listen, the more you will just somehow magically learn to understand Goddess Crystal Rue's lingo, and you'll want to be at my command or service. If not at my command and service, definitely my ally, because I love allies. And to those goddess and moms and mistresses and non-moms who are listening and you already get it, come on over here, because we also, me and Bestie, are going to start working on Mistress Circle, and that's for mistresses can come and get connected, and more information will be released on that later. You know what I say, later on a different podcast, different episode, same podcast, different episode, whatever. Back on focus and balancing ourselves. Some key things I love to do, especially on Selfish Sunday, to help balance myself after a long day of being tired of everything, everything, even myself. I love to soak in the tub a nice Epsom salt, lavender scented, extra bubbles bubble bath. It helps calms me down after when I'm tired of everything and everyone. And then for the days where I'm tired of my kids, I usually find that balance of evening out that feeling with engaging more with my subs or slaves, or diving into my school assignments or something like that, and balancing out being tired of subs and slaves, because there is most definitely a time where you're tired of them. Like, even they're just like, it's just sit, stay, go in your cage, go to the corner, just be, go turn to table, because there are those days, and you just turn them into a table, put your feet on them, um let them know that you're going offline or overwhelmed or whatever. Like, what communication is important or whatnot. And that goes for everybody, even communicating with yourself, because when the days you're tired of yourself, which is okay to be tired of yourself, but still communicate with yourself and figure out what part of yourself you're tired of. Self check-ins. So yes, when it comes down to balancing, yes, it's those days where you just got to find the thing that will help you stay you in balance. And the days that you're out of balance too, that is also okay. Okay? Because if you are always in balance 25/8, even behind the scenes, I just want to know if you're an alien, because, let me know something. But yeah, so get with me with those alien facts about how you stay balanced 25/8. And also, I do have an assignment for this here episode, and I want to know 3 key points that you have learned about me on this episode, and also mistresses, goddesses, and even submissives. I want to know 3 things you learned that you can do to better balance yourself with your Dom and help her stay balanced. And if you don't have a Dom, I want to know 3 things you can do to balance yourself, to get yourself aligned and balanced, to match with a Dom and not throw off her vibrationals. Because if your vibrationals are off, we can help you get them aligned, but you have to be willing to listen to our communication and communicate with yourself. And that goes for you too, goddesses. Those who wear the crown. If your crown circle vibrationals, if your crown circle vibrationals are out of sync, why would you expect for anyone to want to be around that? You should, actually, because those who get it and who are meant for you will learn to accept your out of vibration, or they will help you get your vibrations back in check. Okay? But I could go on forever about that, and I just might on a different episode for a different day. As for now, remember those 3 key points I asked for. Don't forget, I'm making a trip to Memphis come March. Be on the lookout for Mistress Circle events. and get ready to sign up for Moms and Kinks. Ladies, don't forget to keep your crown in control.